The introduction to Jack the Ripper centers on establishing a foundational understanding of one of the most infamous figures in criminal history. Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer active in the impoverished districts of Whitechapel in London during the late 19th century. Specifically, in 1888, the Ripper's notoriety stems not only from the brutal nature of the murders, but also from the chilling anonymity with which they were committed. Jack the Ripper's crimes involved the gruesome mutilation of at least 5 women, creating widespread fear and hysteria in the community and capturing the attention of the press worldwide. The significance of understanding the historical context of Jack the Ripper lies in its impact on both criminology and modern media. The Ripper case marked one of the first examples of a serial killer captivating the public's imagination, thanks in part to widespread newspaper coverage. This media frenzy set the stage for the public's enduring fascination with true crime narratives. Furthermore, the Ripper case highlighted significant deficiencies in police procedures of the time, influencing future advancements in forensic science and investigative techniques. In examining this topic, one might consider the historical impact on the development of profiling and forensic methods. For instance, the inability to solve the case eventually encouraged law enforcement to develop more systematic approaches to crime solving, including the advancement of criminal profiling, a method now used globally. Another real-world application that stems from the Ripper case is the ongoing impact on literature and media. Countless books, films, and television series continue to draw inspiration from the mystery surrounding the Ripper, indicating the extent to which the case has permeated cultural consciousness. Opinions about the significance of Jack the Ripper often highlight how the case unveils societal attitudes towards women, particularly those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds during that era. The victims, often marginalized and vulnerable, are now recognized as central figures in understanding societal issues of the time, such as poverty and gender-based violence. However, this topic is not without its challenges and controversies. The lack of definitive evidence means that many theories about the identity of Jack the Ripper exist, leading to ongoing debate and speculation. Some argue that the focus on the mystery of the Ripper's identity can overshadow the reality and humanity of the victims. This aspect connects to and influences ongoing discussions about ethical representation in media. By contextualizing Jack the Ripper within historical and societal frameworks, we gain insights into the broader implications of the case, from the evolution of policing techniques to the ways in which society processes crime narratives. The infamous Whitechapel murders, commonly attributed to the enigmatic figure known as Jack the Ripper, refer to a series of brutal killings that occurred in the Whitechapel district of London during the late 19th century, specifically between 1888 and 1891. This gruesome timeline included the murders of at least 5 women, known as the Canonical Five, whose deaths were marked by gruesome mutilations. These events hold significant importance in criminology and cultural history as they represent one of the earliest and most publicized cases of serial killings, influencing the way society views crime and the media's role in it. The Whitechapel murders are pivotal to understanding the origins of modern investigative techniques. For instance, they prompted the Metropolitan Police to develop early methods of criminal profiling and forensic analysis, a legacy that endures today. The infamous case also highlighted the societal issues of the time, such as poverty, class disparity, and the neglect of urban development in East London, which they prompted the Metropolitan Police to develop early methods of criminal profiling and forensic analysis, a legacy that endures today. The infamous case also highlighted the societal issues of the time, such as poverty, class disparity, and the neglect of urban development in East London, which provided a chilling backdrop that contributed to public hysteria. Real-world illustrations of these events include efforts by law enforcement agencies worldwide to develop more sophisticated criminal detection and prevention strategies, partially inspired by the inadequacies exposed during the Ripper investigations. Additionally, the case has had a lasting impact on popular culture, spawning numerous theories and fictional works, which continue to captivate the public imagination. Numerous theories abound concerning the identity of Jack the Ripper, with opinions ranging from him being a deranged individual to a calculated killer with specific targets. Some propose that the Ripper was a member of the aristocracy or even part of the medical profession, given the surgical precision involved in the murders. These varied opinions underline the allure and mystery that continue to surround this case. However, the lack of definitive evidence has led to controversies and challenges. The Ripper case exposes the limitations of forensic technology at the time and the potential for misdirection caused by sensationalist media coverage. Alternative viewpoints suggest that the Ripper was a creation of media exaggeration, highlighting how the press played a role in shaping public perception. In connection with the broader topic of Jack the Ripper, the Whitechapel murders serve as the heart of the mystery, driving interest in the myriad of theories about the killer's identity and motives. These events not only shape our understanding of Jack the Ripper as a historical figure, but also influence the ongoing discourse about the societal conditions that can give rise to such notorious figures. The investigative techniques and practices of the late 19th century, particularly in the context of the infamous Jack the Ripper case, were rudimentary by today's standards, but profoundly shaped the evolution of modern forensic science. During this era, police work largely relied on eyewitness accounts, rudimentary crime scene analysis, and rudimentary record keeping. The lack of advanced technology meant that detectives faced significant challenges in gathering evidence, often relying on intuition and basic observational skills. The significance of this point in relation to the Jack the Ripper case can't be overstated. The limitations of the era's investigative methods contributed to the mystery that continues to shroud the identity of the Ripper. Had Jack the Ripper operated today, modern forensic techniques such as DNA analysis and digital surveillance might have solved the case swiftly. Thus, the case underscores the importance of advancements in forensic science and police procedures. Two specific examples from the period illustrating these investigative practices include the use of bloodhounds and the burgeoning field of fingerprinting. Though neither was used effectively in the Ripper case, bloodhounds were initially considered to track the Ripper, but logistical failures and skepticism about their reliability meant they were never deployed. On another front, while fingerprinting was in its infancy during this period, it was not widely adopted until the early 20th century, missing an opportunity to potentially identify the suspect through what would become a revolutionary method in criminal investigations. Opinions from criminologists and historians often highlight the inadequacy of these methods, but also acknowledge that the social and technological context of the time set limitations. Importantly, the Ripper case spurred public and governmental demand for improved policing strategies, contributing to the development of more sophisticated investigative approaches. There are challenges and controversies surrounding the effectiveness of 19th century practices. Detectives of the time importantly, the Ripper case spurred public and governmental demand for improved policing strategies, contributing to the development of more sophisticated investigative approaches. There are challenges and controversies surrounding the effectiveness of 19th century practices. Detectives of the time primarily depended on confessions, sometimes extracted under duress, and community rumors, which could lead to wrongful accusations. Additionally, there was a lack of coordination and communication between different police jurisdictions, notably between the Metropolitan Police and the City of London Police during the Ripper investigations. The investigative techniques and practices of the late 19th century not only highlight the technological and methodological gaps of the era, but also act as a catalyst for change, influencing how subsequent crimes were investigated. This evolution marked the transition from instinct-based policing to evidence-based detective work, impacting everything from legislative changes to the eventual establishment of forensic science as a cornerstone of criminal investigations. The identification and analysis of the suspects in the Jack the Ripper case involves examining the various individuals historically suspected of committing the infamous murders in London's Whitechapel district in 1888. This process encompasses gathering historical records, eyewitness accounts, forensic evidence, and psychological profiling to evaluate the viability of each suspect. The significance of identifying and analyzing these suspects lies in the pursuit of unraveling one of history's most enduring mysteries, providing closure to the victim's descendants, and contributing to the field of criminal profiling. Two prominent examples of suspects are Montague John Druitt, a barrister and teacher whose suicide coincided with the end of the murders, and Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber with a known history of mental illness who lived in Whitechapel at the time. The case against Druitt was primarily circumstantial, centered around the timing of his death and vague suspicions from investigators. Sminsky became a suspect due to his mental health issues and proximity to the crime scenes, with more recent DNA analyses of items purportedly belonging to a victim, suggesting a possible link to him, though these findings remain widely debated and contested. From a critical standpoint, the identification and analysis of suspects offer valuable insights into the limitations and evolution of police work and forensic science over time. Some experts argue that modern techniques might provide more conclusive results, whereas skeptics highlight the challenges posed by the contamination and loss of original evidence. On the one hand, advancements like DNA analysis have reignited interest and provided new perspectives. On the other hand, the continued uncertainty keeps the case open to various interpretations, sustaining its allure and ongoing investigation. This endeavor is fraught with challenges and controversies. The primary difficulty lies in the quality and quantity of evidence available from the 19th century. Many suspect theories are based on hearsay or tenuous links rather than solid proof. Additionally, conspiratorial theories involving figures such as the royal family or prominent politicians complicate objective analysis and contribute to the mythos surrounding the Ripper. There's also an ongoing debate regarding the ethical implications of naming suspects without definitive evidence, potentially tarnishing reputations posthumously. In the broader context